Hello YouTubers. So I thought I would cover how I wash the car. Not that it's going to change your minds on how you wash your car. Some of you are two bucketers. I'm a one bucket. Sometimes I'm a no bucket. Depends on how fast I need to wash the car and get on my way. But for the most part I use one bucket and I wash the car several times a week. I hate to admit, but I like to keep it clean. I've already done the wheels and tires, and for the wheels and tires I spray a lot of chemical on the tire and the wheel and the brake caliper, and then I wash it. I do not wet the wheels first. I spray it on, let the chemicals start chewing away at whatever is built up on there, the road grime or whatever, and then I wet my brush, wash the wheel and tire, clean the inside of the wheels just like I do the outside of the wheels. I also clean in here and on the brake caliper. So the parts I can reach, they are clean. And then I also spray the chemical underneath the wheel well, which is felt, and rinse that off real good. So that's how I do each wheel. At the same time, every month at least, I will get underneath the car and clean the underside. And this is only for the parts I can reach. I'm not trying to put the car on a lift or anything like that. I just wash the car, wash underneath it for the parts where I can get underneath it with my hand and a rag and wash the car. So next I'm going to rinse the car, get it wet, get the dust off of it, and then suds her up and wash it off. Be right back. In case you're wondering, this is what I use to wash the car with. Lathers up good. Nice thick bubbles, ain't going nowhere. I tried this. Horrible. Do not recommend it. All right, wet the car real good. A lot of people just wet the car. I'm actually trying to get dirt off of it. Dirt, debris, whatever. For those of you with convertible tops, I hope you know that you never put down a fabric convertible top while it's wet. So for me, I cannot put this top down until it dries. Otherwise you'll leave staining, although staining is not the right word. It'll just leave streaks in the top if you constantly put it down while it's wet. And I'm just trying to keep it wet. So give it some more. So all rinsed up, rinsed off. Let's suds her up. To wash a convertible top, you don't need to put pressure on it. All I do is drag the rag on the top. I am not putting any pressure other than the weight of a wet rag. For the rest, I wash the car. For this part, you don't need to see all of it, but you get the gist of what's about to happen. All right, the car is washed, ready for rinsing. And just so you know, you always start from the top down to the bottom. Rinsing the convertible top, you want to make sure it's deliberate. You mean to rinse it off because you want the soap out. So I'll rinse it from this direction, and I'll rinse it from the other side. Just as good. I lift the wiper blades, wash behind the wiper blades. Another tip, you wash your car, wash it in the same pattern I'm rinsing it. So it's like this, and around, like you would paint it. The reason for that is, if you do like this, and there's dirt or debris in your rag, people can see scratches in a car that has waves and circles in it. So they're less likely to see it, scratches, hairline scratches, if the car has been washed or waxed in this direction. Now, don't get me wrong, I will wax like this, but then I come back and go like that, and then finish on my finish coat. Anyway, you get the gist of the rinse. So the next thing that I'll do, open the doors, obviously, and I will clean the door jambs, not just the surfaces here, but also here, up in here, will be dried off. Up in here, up in there, in here, and on this door. After I'm done with these, then I do under the hood. Now, some may say, why do I go through all this effort? The reason is it becomes habit. A long time ago, I started this process, and now it's part of the process. It's just what I know to do every time I wash a car. It takes a little longer, but the car is cleaner, stays cleaner. And if I ever went to shows, or somebody wanted to see it, the in is clean as the out. The bottom is as top as the bottom is as clean as the top. Just how I like it. So I pop the hood. I'll wipe all of this. The goal here, this isn't an engine cleaning exercise. It's just keeping it clean, keeping it wiped down, keeping it, trying to look as new as possible. Or drying, I always grab one of these thick towels like that, or like that. Well, not that one. Anyway, there's a third one that's in the dirty clothes. That one and one of these. This is a McGuire's, I think, drying magnet. Works great when you're drying off a car. When you want to fine dry it, meaning get all any water spots off the car. All right, let me dry it up. Now that the wash and dry is done, really, like I said in the beginning, this process probably takes me 30 minutes. A little longer when I do underneath the back and underneath the sides, but 30 minutes start to finish to wash and dry this car, including the wheels. Now I'm gonna put on some wax. I use griots, and I don't know how I ended up with griots everything, but I guess over time I've ended up on them. Some people use Adams, some people use chemical guys, whatever floats your boat. This works for me. So I'll put a coat of wax on the car and then I'll come back and review it and then wipe it off. All right, the wax is on and you can kind of tell it goes side to side. So when I put it on, I don't know how everybody else does it, but I think of putting suntan oil on my wife's back. Some people might think gross, but when I have to do it, I'm not bearing down on her back to put it on. It's a soft process. I let the applicator and the wax work. So it may take a moment to get it in, but that's part of waxing. It's not supposed to be easy. Not supposed to just go like this and it's on. It's this until it gets on, and nice, easy process. Anyway, we'll take the wax off. All right, so I waxed the car, wiped it off, and then I moved it over here in the sun so that I could ensure I got everything off. Metallic looks great. It pops really good in the sun. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but it shows up good in person. Top is almost dry. All right, about time to take it for a spin.